The rain-slicked pavement of Seattle's Capitol Hill exploded under the crack of tear gas canisters, and in that chaos, I locked eyes with her. Officer Riley Kane, the woman whose badge had become my personal nightmare. My heart hammered not just from the sting in my lungs, but from the fire in her stare, unyielding and electric, as she raised her baton like a wall between us. 3 years later, that same baton would shatter the glass of my apartment window to drag me from flames, her voice breaking through the smoke. "Nina, hold on, I've got you." And in that moment, I knew hatred had lied to me all along. I was 28, a freelance journalist scraping by on stories about the city's underbelly, the kind that exposed corruption and gave voice to the voiceless. Seattle's progressive heart beat strong in my veins, but so did the scars from nights like that one in 2022, when protests against police brutality turned the streets into war zones. I'd been there, notebook in hand, capturing the raw fury of Black Lives Matter marches, the cries for justice echoing off brick walls. Riley, 29 then and fresh out of the academy, was the embodiment of everything I fought against, a cop with a reputation for zero tolerance, her arrests clocking in like trophies. Our first clash wasn't poetic, it was brutal. She pinned me against a squad car, her knee in my back, whispering through gritted teeth, "Stay down or I'll make you." I spat back, "You're the monster here," and the words lodged like shrapnel in both our chests. Back then, I hated her with the purity of youth and rage, hated the way her uniform hugged her frame like armor, hiding whatever softness might lurk beneath. She was the enemy, the oppressor in blue, and I wrote about her anonymously in my blog, Blue Shadows, painting her as the villain in essays that went viral among activists. Little did I know, she read every word, her off-duty nights spent scrolling through my posts in a dimly lit bar, nursing a whiskey and wondering why my fire burned so bright it singed her own doubts. Fast forward to a sticky July evening in 2025, and fate, that cruel jester, threw us together again at a community forum in a converted warehouse on Pike Street. The event was billed as Bridging the Divide, Cops and Communities, a toothless attempt at reconciliation sponsored by the mayor's office. I was there as a panelist, invited by a local nonprofit to speak on media bias in policing. My talk was sharp, laced with stats on disproportionate arrests in queer and POC neighborhoods, places like Capitol Hill, where I'd grown up hiding my first crushes on girls in high school lockers. The room hummed with tension, rainbow flags draped over folding chairs, the air thick with coffee and skepticism. She walked in late, uniform traded for civilian jeans and a Henley that clung to her shoulders, her blonde crop grown out just enough to curl at the nape. Heads turned, whispers rippled. Riley Kane, the iron-fisted officer, now heading the department's nascent LGBTQ+ liaison unit. Ironic, I thought, as our eyes met across the fluorescent-lit space. She took a seat in the back, arms crossed, but her gaze never wavered. When Q&A hit, a burly guy in a faded cab lobbed the first grenade. How do we trust reform when officers like Kane have blood on their hands? The room tensed, all eyes on me. I opened my mouth, ready to eviscerate, but she stood before I could. "Call me out if you want," Riley said, her voice steady, laced with a Pacific Northwest drawl that softened the edges. "I've got regrets. That night in 22, I was scared, green, and wrong. Pinned a journalist, Nina Hale, because protocol said so, but my gut knew it was bullshit." She turned to me then, blue eyes unflinching. "I'm sorry. For the knee, the words, the wall I built. If words mean anything, start there." The room erupted, claps, jeers, a chair scraping back. I sat frozen, my prepared retort dissolving like sugar in rain. Apology from the enemy? It felt like a trap, a PR stunt wrapped in vulnerability. But as the forum wrapped, she approached, extending a hand scarred from God knows what scuffle. "Nina," she said, low enough that only I heard the tremor. "Can we talk? Off record?" Against every instinct screaming betrayal, I nodded. We ended up at a dive bar 2 blocks away, the Unicorn's Horn, a queer haven with sticky floors and walls papered in vintage dyke erotica posters. Over IPAs that tasted like pine and regret, she peeled back layers I'd never imagined. Born in Tacoma to a single mom who waitress doubles, Riley joined the force at 22 chasing stability, not glory. Thought it'd be like the movies, saving lives, not breaking them, she admitted, fingers tracing the condensation on her glass. Then I saw you that night. Not just another protester. You were. Alive. Furious. Yeah, but alive in a way that made me question everything. I laughed, bitter at first. Alive? You nearly cracked my ribs. But her wince was real, and damn if it didn't crack something in me too. We talked for hours, about the hypocrisy of a system that tokenized queer cops like her, about my own closet days in a conservative family that shipped me off to Seattle to straighten out. By last call, the bar's neon glow painted her face in pinks and blues, and I caught myself staring at the curve of her lip, the way her laugh lines deepened when she teased my bleeding heart blogger shtick. It was dangerous, this thaw. Enemies didn't share silences like that, heavy with unspoken what-ifs. The next week, a call came, an anonymous tip on my tip line about a dirty cop shaking down immigrant-owned shops in the International District. My pulse quickened. This was the story that could gut the department from the inside. I hit the streets, blending into the afternoon bustle of Hing Hay Park, where dim sum carts steamed and elders played mahjong under cherry blossoms. But as shadows lengthened, I felt eyes on me. Paranoia? Maybe. Until an unmarked cruiser idled too long at the curb. Riley. She rolled down the window, expression thunderous. Get in, Hale. You're playing with fire. I slid into the passenger seat, adrenaline spiking. Stalking me now? Classy. She gripped the wheel, knuckles white. Tip came across my desk too.
Thought you might be chasing it.
Listen, it's not just one bad apple. It's a ring, and they're armed. You go solo, your chum. We drove in fraught silence to a greasy spoon on Yesler Way, plates of hash browns going cold as she laid it out. Detective Harlan, her former mentor, running protection rackets with a crew of off-book enforcers. I transferred to liaison to escape that shit, she confessed, voice raw. But ignoring it? That's not me anymore. Our alliance formed there, fragile as wet paper. Me feeding her intel from activist networks, her looping me into case files under the table. Late nights bled into dawn at her cramped queen and apartment, takeout boxes piling up amid stacks of reports. I'd catch her watching me, not with suspicion, but something softer, hungrier. One night, after a close call tailing Harlan's goons through Pioneer Square's underbelly, we crashed on her couch, exhausted. The TV flickered some forgotten rom-com, but neither of us watched. Her hand brushed mine reaching for the remote, and electricity arced. Undeniable, scorching. Nina, she murmured, turning to face me, her breath warm against my cheek. This, us, it's messed up, right? I could have pulled away, rebuilt the wall. Instead, I leaned in, lips crashing into hers with the force of all those pent-up storms. She tasted like coffee and salt, her fingers tangling in my hair as if I'd vanish. We broke apart gasping, foreheads pressed, and in her eyes, I saw my own terror mirrored, love blooming where hate once rooted. But Seattle's undercurrents pulled us deeper. Harlan caught wind, first a slashed tire on my beat-up Civic, then a brick through my window with a note. Snitches bleed rainbow. Riley went feral, her protector instincts flaring. Stay with me, she urged, and I did, our nights shifting from strategy sessions to tangled sheets, her body a map of strength and scars I traced with reverent fingers. She was all lean muscle and quiet power, her touch igniting me in ways no man ever had, slow, deliberate, unraveling me until I shattered, whispering her name like a prayer. Yet guilt gnawed. Was I betraying my principles, sleeping with a uniform? Protests still raged outside, chants of no justice, no peace, a siren song. Riley felt it too, her shifts pulling her back into the fray. One dawn, post-lovemaking, she traced my collarbone, voice thick. I want out. For us. But leaving means admitting the badge broke me. I held her then, fierce. It didn't break you. It forged you into this, brave enough to love me. The sting came swift. Harlan's crew ambushed us during a stakeout in the Soto warehouses, rain hammering tin roofs like accusations. Tires screeched. Bullets pinged off Riley's cruiser as we floored it, my heart in my throat. Floor it, she yelled, swerving into an alley, her free hand clutching mine. We ditched the car, sprinting through puddles, her pulling me into a derelict loading dock. Harlan's voice boomed over a bullhorn. Kane, you and your dyke reporter think you can play hero? Shots whizzed. Riley shoved me behind crates, her body shielding mine. Pain bloomed, her shoulder grazed, blood soaking her shirt. Go, she gasped, but I refused, phone in hand, live streaming the betrayal to every activist feed I knew. Sirens wailed. Backup, clean badges flooding in. Harlan went down in a hail of his own making, cuffs clicking like karma's applause. In the aftermath, medics swarmed, Riley pale on a stretcher, her hand finding mine amid the chaos. Worth it, she whispered, thumbs stroking my knuckles. For you. Weeks blurred into recovery, hospital vigils where I read her my unpublished essays, her laughter weak but real. The scandal rocked City Hall, reforms trickled in, slow but seismic. Riley resigned, trading Blue for a consulting gig with community orgs, her voice now amplifying the marginalized. We moved into a tiny Fremont houseboat, the kind that rocked gently on Lake Union, windows framing sunsets over the Space Needle. Looking back, that first clash wasn't the end of enmity, it was the spark. Love, I've learned, isn't a straight line. It's a riot, messy and magnificent, demanding we dismantle our walls brick by brick. Riley isn't my enemy anymore. She's my anchor, my fire. And in her arms, under star-pricked skies, I fall endlessly, gratefully, into the woman who taught me forgiveness starts with the heart. The autumn leaves crunched underfoot as we walked the locks at Ballard, salmon leaping upstream in feudal glory, mirroring the wild leap I'd taken into Riley's world. It was October 2025, 6 months post-shootout, and Seattle draped itself in gold, but inside me, storm still brewed. My blog had exploded, Blue Shadows, now a podcast with sponsors, episodes dissecting the Harlan bust like a love letter to accountability. Listeners devoured our story, the cop and the crusader, but fame's glare exposed cracks. Protesters picketed my readings, calling me a sellout for loving her. Old friends ghosted, their texts curt. How's the traitor? Riley bore it quieter, her shoulder scar a puckered reminder. Therapy sessions unpacking the badge's weight. One crisp Saturday, we volunteered at a youth center in the Central District, teaching self-defense to queer teens, kids with eyes like mine at 16, wide with wonder and wariness. Riley demonstrated holds, her voice gentle. Power isn't in the grip, it's in knowing when to let go. A girl named Jax, all braids and bravado, cornered me after. You really love her? After everything? I nodded, throat tight. Love doesn't erase the past. It redeems it. Jax's hug lingered, fierce, and in that moment, I glimpsed the human value we'd clawed for, not just survival, but legacy. Evenings, we'd cook, me chopping kale for salads, her searing salmon with herbs from our tiny deck garden. Laughter filled the houseboat's galley, wine loosening tongues. Remember that forum? She'd tease, nuzzling my neck. Thought you'd deck me. I'd counter, still might if you burn the rice again. Our intimacy deepened, exploratory, her fingers mapping my hips like uncharted waters, my lips discovering the salt of her skin under moonlight filtering through portholes. It was sacred, this reclaiming, bodies as battlegrounds turned sanctuaries. But shadows lingered. An email pinged mid-November, anonymous sender. Leaked IA files on Riley's reckless conduct during the bust, doctored to paint her as trigger-happy. My blood ran cold. Harlan's ghost, reaching from prison. We hunkered down, poring over docs by laptop glow, her jaw set. "They're coming for my pension," she muttered. I pulled her close. "Then we fight. Together." Our lovemaking that night was urgent, a defiance. Nails raking backs, gasps echoing off cedar walls, affirming we were unbreakable. The counterattack brewed at a holiday mixer for the liaison unit, a stuffy affair in a Belltown loft with twinkling lights and forced cheer. Riley, radiant in a button-down and slacks, introduced me as my partner, the one who keeps me honest. Whispers followed, but her hand in mine silenced them. Then, across the room, Detective Voss, Harlan's old partner, eyes like chips of ice, sidelined us. "Cute setup, Kane. But leaks don't lie. Your girl's stirring shit again." He slid a USB drive across the bar, smirking. "Read it. Or I will." Heart pounding, we slipped out early, fleeing to the waterfront. Under the Ferris wheel's glow, Riley plugged it in on her phone. Fakes, all of it, timestamps manipulated to frame her for excessive force in unrelated calls. "Bastards tying loose ends," she growled, hurling the drive into the sound. I cupped her face. "We expose him. My platform, your proof." Kisses followed, salty with Puget tears, her body pressing me against the railing, passionate, possessive, the city's hum fading to our rhythm. December brought blizzards, blanketing Seattle in white isolation. Snowbound, we nested. Hot cocoa spiked with bourbon, marathon watches of the L-word reruns, debating arcs like scholars. Riley confessed dreams deferred, a novel about a queer cop's redemption, scribbled in notebooks, she'd hidden. "Write it," I urged, curling into her side. "For the girls like Jax." Her first chapter flowed that week, raw and riveting, our bed a muse. Intimacy wove deeper. Mornings, I'd wake to her sketching me asleep, pencil strokes tender, capturing the vulnerability I'd armored against the world. Crisis crested New Year's Eve. Voss escalated, tipping off a tabloid with sources claiming Riley's relationship was a department ploy to infiltrate activists. My inbox flooded. Hate mail. Death threats laced with slurs. We holed up, but isolation cracked us. "Am I poison?" she whispered one dawn, snow muffling the world outside. I straddled her lap, fierce. "You're my antidote." Our union was slow, healing, lips lingering, hands reverent, rebuilding trust stroke by stroke until ecstasy washed away doubt. Resolution dawned in January, my podcast episode dropping like a bomb. Betrayal in Blue, narrated with Riley's voiceover, timestamps debunked live. Listeners rallied, petitions surged, Voss suspended pending probe. We celebrated at Alki Beach, bonfire crackling, waves lapping. Toasting marshmallows, she knelt, not with a ring, but a key. To our forever home. No more running. Tears stung. I pulled her up, kissing her under fireworks bursting like confessions. Spring unfurled, cherry blossoms carpeting U-District paths. We adopted a rescue mutt, Luna, her wagging chaos mirroring our joy. Riley's novel sold to a small press dedication, to Nina, who saw the hero in the villain. Readings drew crowds, teens like Jack's eyes alight. One night, post-event, a heckler spat, "Traitor bitch." Riley stepped forward, calm. "Love isn't betrayal. It's the bravest truth." The room hushed, applause thundered. Yet growth demanded sacrifice. I scaled back protests, channeling fire into mentorship. She volunteered with at-risk youth, badge a relic. Our love matured, less wildfire, more hearth. Lazy Sundays biking Green Lake, her hand in mine, anniversaries at that dive bar, toasting origins. Intimacy evolved, playful, bubble baths turning steamy, her laughter bubbling as I traced bubbles down her spine. Summer solstice, we hiked Rattlesnake Ledge, summit views sprawling, cascades jagged, Olympics hazy. At the peak, breathless, she turned. Marry me? Not for show, for us. Ring simple, silver with intertwined vines. Yes, I choked, tumbling into her arms, world blurring. Below, Seattle shimmered, a city of divides bridged by our bond. By fall's cusp, wedding plans wove into our tapestry. Small, queer-centric affair at a Capitol Hill garden, vows exchanged under arbors heavy with roses. Invites went to Jax and the youth group, my estranged sister flying in from Spokane, tentative thaw in her eyes. Riley's mom, weathered but warm, baked pies, her stories of Tacoma grit echoing our resilience. But beneath joy, undercurrents stirred. Voss's trial loomed, subpoena dragging old wounds raw. Prep nights dissolved into rituals, trying dresses in vintage shops, her in a tailored suit that hugged her form like sin, me in flowing ivory with lace sleeves whispering against skin. Gorgeous, she'd breathe, fingers trailing hems, igniting sparks. Our home buzzed, string lights draped, playlists of Ani DeFranco and Brandi Carlile. Luna yipped at fabric swatches, tail ablur. Trial week hit like a gale. Voss's defense twisted narratives. Riley the ambitious climber, me the manipulative scribe. Courtroom in downtown's federal building reeked of polished wood and tension. I testified, voice steady, recounting threats, the bricks shatter. Riley's turn gutted me, cross-exam grilling her on personal biases, slimy insinuations about our bed. She held firm, eyes locking mine across the gallery. Love made me better, not bitter. Verdict: guilty, fraud and intimidation. Justice bittersweet. Post-verdict, we escaped to the San Juans, ferry slicing Salish Sea. Cabin on Orcas Island, wood smoke scented, waves lulling. We hiked Moran State Park, Mount Constitution's vista stealing breath, islands dotting like emerald confetti. Picnic spread, cheeses, berries, her fingers feeding me strawberries, juice staining lips for kisses that deepened, rolling us in wild grass. My wife-to-be, she murmured, hands roaming, reclaiming power in passion's tide. Back in Seattle, wedding eve brought nerves. Rehearsal dinner at our houseboat, laughter mingling with nerves. My sister pulled me aside. She's good for you, Nina. Real. Tears pricked. Hugs healed rifts. That night, alone, Riley drew me a bath, candles flickering. No rush, she said, but touches lingered, soap-slick skin, sighs rising like steam. We made love slow, vows whispered pre-vows, eternal, unyielding. Ceremony dawned golden, garden alive with bees and vows. Officiant, a butch elder from the center, bound us. In division, you found union. Rings exchanged, hers fitting my finger like fate. Kiss sealed it, cheers erupting, Jack's whooping loudest. Reception spilled into picnic, toasts flowing. Riley's mom on second chances, my words on love's rebellion. Dances under stars, her leading waltz, my hips swaying too at last, bodies sinking like heartbeats. Honeymoon whisked us to Kauai, Na Pali coast's cliffs plunging into turquoise. Hikes to hidden beaches, snorkeling with turtles graceful as grace. Evenings on lanais, sunsets painting her golden, lovemaking under mosquito nets, adventurous, her pinning me playfully, my gasps lost in trade winds. We talked futures, kids via donor, perhaps, a bigger place in Wallingford. Family, she said, tracing my belly.
Ours.
Return brought routine's comfort laced with novelty, dual bylines on op-eds, her novel touring. But life's tempests tested, my sister's visit strained, old family skeletons rattling, Dad's ghost, his silence on my queerness. Dinner devolved into tears. Riley mediated, her calm a balm. We're not erasing history, she told him via Zoom, uninvited but insistent. We're writing the next chapter. He logged off mute, but a week later, a card arrived. Proud. Finally. Winter gripped, holidays a mosaic. We hosted Solstice for the center kids, tree trimmed with protest pins and pride flags. Gifts unwrapped, her a leather-bound journal for stories, me a custom badge-turned-necklace. Protector of hearts. Your log burned, tails spun. Jax came out that night, hugs fierce. Intimacy post-party, tipsy, tangled on the rug, her mouth mapping joy's contours, my fingers in her hair, anchoring ecstasy. Spring 2026 bloomed scandals anew, department leaks on systemic rot. My podcast, reigniting calls for overhaul. Riley consulted, her voice in hearings catalytic. Protests flared, but we walked lines together, hands linked, symbols of bridge building. One rally, counter-protesters hurled epithets. She shielded a trans kid, I documented. Home, adrenaline crashed into ardor. Against the door, clothes shed hasty, her strength lifting me, union fierce as the fight. Anniversary neared. 1 year wed. We revisited the Forum warehouse, now a co-op space.
Toast there. IPAs raised.
To enemies remade, she quipped. Laughter bubbled. Later, in our bed, remaking love, tender, teasing, her whispers of forever against my throat. Yet depth demanded depth. Therapy couples sessions unpacked residues, my trust fractures, her guilt ghosts. You're my mirror, she said one rain-lashed afternoon, Lake Union choppy. Showing cracks to mend. Breakthroughs bonded us tighter, vulnerabilities forge. Summer heatwave, we road-tripped Oregon coast, Cannon Beach's Haystack Rock Sentinel. Campfire nights, Asmore's sticky, stories of youth. Her first girl kiss at camp, stolen. Mine in a Seattle arcade, fumbling. Laughter healed. Dawn surfs, her board steadying mine, wipeouts ending in spluttering kisses. Fall harvest, family swelled. Donor selected, IVF whispers. Scans showed promise. Riley's hand on my abdomen, awestruck. Our miracle. Morning sick, she brewed ginger tea, her care a quiet heroism. Crisis whispered in November. Health scare, early bleed. Our lights harsh, her vigil unyielding. We're fighters, she vowed, squeezing my hand through pokes. All clear, viable. Joy flooded, tears salt-kissed. By year's end, bumps showing, we nested, crib assembled, onesies folded. Holidays with babes-to-be in mind, toast to legacies. Riley's novel sequel penned, queer cops front and center. My book deal, memoir of us, shadows to light. New Year's, lakefront, fireworks mirrored in water. To us, she said, palm on belly. Life kicked, tiny insistent. Love, we'd learned, was riot and repose, enmity's embers banked to enduring flame. The first trimester dragged like molasses, Seattle's relentless drizzle mirroring my moods, swings from euphoric to exhausted, cravings hitting at midnight for pho or pickles. Riley adapted seamlessly, her cop instincts repurposed, stocking the fridge with weird combos, rubbing my feet after long days editing the memoir. Our houseboat felt smaller, cozier, walls echoing with ultrasound snapshots pinned like medals. Little warrior, she'd coo at the grainy print, her blue eyes soft as the sound at dawn. Work pulled dual tides. My podcast hit top charts, guests from trans advocates to reformed officers, episodes dissecting allyship's razor edge. Riley guested anonymously at first, voice modulated, but unmasking her Drew record listens. Haters trolled, but supporters surged, merch selling out. Love the badge, burn the system, tease. Her consulting gig bloomed, trainings for departments nationwide, her TEDx talk on queer cops, reclaiming the line going viral. Fame's double blade cut. Paparazzi staked our doc, flashes intrusive as old raids. One foggy February morning, a call shattered routine, Jax, voice cracking, center vandalized, anti-queer graffiti slathered, windows smashed. We raced over, Riley's jaw clenched, me snapping pics for a thread. Cleanup crew assembled, kids scrubbing, elders sweeping. Jax hugged us, fierce. They won't break us. That afternoon, we launched a fundraiser, my platform amplifying, her networks donating. By dusk, pledges poured. Victory barbecue followed, grills smoking ribs, toasts to resilience. Intimacy shifted with pregnancy's curve, gentler, her hands cradling my swell, kisses lingering on stretched skin. Beautiful, she'd murmur, lips trailing navel, evoking shivers. We'd lie spooned, her palm cupping the bump, feeling flutters like Morse code promises. Sex became exploration. Me atop, guiding pace, her surrender a gift, gasps sinking with heartbeats tripled. March brought baby shower, rainbow-themed at the garden venue of our wedding. Balloons bobbed, cake three-tiered with booties. Gifts unwrapped, tiny pride onesies, books on two mom families. My sister gifted a quilt, stitches of family lore. Tears flowed. Riley's speech, mic in hand. This kid gets two fighters, one heart. Laughter, cheers. Later, showers steam turned steamy, her washing my back, touches turning tender, reaffirming desire's constancy. Scare struck mid-quarter. Routine check flagged anomaly, placenta concerns. Specialist's office sterile, Riley's hand vice-tight. Bed rest, doc ordered. Confinement chafed. I paced decks, laptop bound, scripting episodes from bed. She took leave, domestic dynamo, meals pureed, pillows fluffed. Nights she'd read aloud, her novels drafts, voices animated, pulling laughs from worry. Love-making paused, but closeness deepened. Massages oil slick, stories whispered till sleep claimed. April thawed doubts, follow-up cleared. Relief party. Picnic at Discovery Park, blankets spread, Luna chasing frisbees. Friends gathered, activists, ex-cops, sharing tales of transformation. A former foe, Officer Diaz from the bust, clapped Riley's shoulder. You changed the game, Kane. Wine flowed, mine's sparkling cider. Sunset, Riley pulled me aside, forest path dappled. Grateful, she said, kissing slow, hands framing face. For every storm. Second trimester energized, bump pronounced, kicks like drum solos. We toured nurseries, settling on a Wallingford craftsman. Escrows signed amid squeals. Packing the houseboat bittersweet. Memories in boxes, adventures archived. Move-in weekend, trucks groaning, sweat and swearing. By night, new bed christened, her body over mine, careful but carnal, reclaiming space. Summer swelled with the belly. Heatwave sticky, swims in green lake cooling. Baby classes, birthing videos squirm-worthy, Riley's grip bruising during hypotheticals. Lama's breaths practiced on decks, her coaching patient. Push through, she'd encourage, winking, double entendre not lost. Podcast milestone, live show at Numo's Crowd Electric. I moderated, bump mic'd, Riley backstage support. Guest, a lesbian mayor from Portland, discourse on policy love intersections. Post-show, green room glow, her unzipping my dress, lips on neck, adrenaline-fueling frenzy. Quick, quiet, against mirrors fog. Fall foliage framed doctor's visits, gender reveal skipped, surprise us our mantra. Names brainstormed, Avery for girl, Jordan for boy, middle Nina Riley mashups. Holidays early, pumpkin patch outings, hayrides, jolting laughs. Thanksgiving with families merged, my dad's first appearance, awkward but earnest, carving turkey with trembling hands. Toasts bridged gaps to new chapters. Winter quickened, third trimester heavy, waddles comical. Riley's novel launch, bookstore packed, signings endless. I beamed from front row, hand on belly. After party at home, champagne corks popping midnight, guests gone, her carrying me to bed, devotion distilled in every lift. Intimacy intimate, oral explorations, her mouth worshipful, my release a wave cresting. Crisis brewed Christmas Eve, contractions false alarm, our dash through snow. Monitors beeped, All clear. Braxton Hicks. Discharged. We drove home, carols blaring, her hand on thigh. Close call, I sighed. But we're ready. Home, tree twinkling, love-making languid. Her fingers inside, slow circles, building to bliss. New Year birth resolve. Birth plan finalized, doula on speed dial. We walked beaches, waves whispering encouragement. One eve, Aurora Bridge vista, city lights sprawling. Our village awaits, she said, arms around me. Kick responded, fierce. Legacy pulsed, love's labor, enmity's echo faint. Labor hit Valentine's dawn, pains rippling like tides. Hospital whirl. IVs, monitors, Riley's face anchor. Hours blurred, walking halls, breathing deep, her coaching. You're a force. Epidural bliss. Push came primal, her hand crushed, words fierce. Almost push. Cry pierced girl, tiny, furious. Avery Riley Hale Kane, 7 pounds even, eyes blue like her mama's. First hold. Swaddled warmth, Riley's tears splashing. Perfect, we chorused. Room filled, sister snapping pics, mom cooing. World narrowed to this. Family forged in fire. Love's ultimate rebellion. Avery's first weeks were a delirium of diapers and dawn feeds. Our craftsman home a nest of burp cloths and baby monitors. Seattle's spring rains pattered lullabies on the nursery window, where a mobile of protest signs spun gently, tiny fists waving like future activists. Riley took to motherhood with quiet ferocity, her shifts traded for paternity leave, pacing floors with colicky wails, her voice a soothing baritone crooning. Hush little baby remixed with cop lingo. Hush little revolutionary, don't say a word. Sleep fragmented, but joy stitched it whole. I'd wake to her cradling Avery, rocking in the glider we'd assembled at 2 a.m., her profile etched in moonlight, strong jaw softened, eyes adoring. Breastfeeding marathons bonded us triply. Riley's awe at the latch, her fingers tracing my arm, sparked intimacies rekindle. Post-feed, Avery down, we'd collapse together, kisses lazy, hands wandering, reclaiming bodies reshaped. Miss this, she'd whisper, entering slow, our sighs sinking like old rhythms. Work wove back, tentatively. My memoir dropped to acclaim, launches virtual then in person at Elliott Bay Books, Avery napping in a sling against my chest. Readings excerpted our origin, enmity to ecstasy, drawing nods from queer elders, gasps from straights. Riley attended incognito first, baseball cap low, but pride swelled. She keynote panels, baby in arms, on parenting past the badge. Challenges crested summer, colic peaks, my postpartum haze deepening to doubt. Am I enough? I confessed one humid night, Avery finally asleep. Riley pulled me to the porch swing, city hum below. You're everything, the spark that lit my world. Her touch grounded, love-making gentle. Missionary close, eye-locked, her thrusts measured, building to mutual release that washed worries away. Family tides turned. My dad visited, granddad awkward with bottles, but beaming at gurgles. Didn't know love like this existed, he admitted over coffee, hand on Avery's head. Healing hummed. Riley's mom moved closer, weekly pies a staple. Jackson turned at the center, her coming-out story inspiring a youth zine we mentored. Fall brought Avery's first milestones, rolls, coups, gummy grins. We day-tripped Olympic Peninsula, rainforest moss-draped, carrier hikes with Babel soundtrack. Picnics under ferns, Riley feeding purees, me capturing candids. One trail, waterfall misting, she knelt. Our adventure continues. Kisses mist-kissed, hands linked over Avery's head. Podcast evolved. Shadows Family Edition. Episodes on queer parenting, guests sharing spectra. Sponsors boomed. We hired a nanny, freeing date nights, babysitter bound. Dinners at Canlis, skyline views romantic. Post-meal, hotel suites. Her in lingerie pilfered from my drawer, role-play teasing. Officer, cuff me. Laughter to lust, explorations bold, toys rediscovered, peaks plural. Winter holidays glowed. First Christmas, tree base circled by toys. Avery's eyes widened at lights. We Skyped relatives, her squeals bridging miles. New Year's quiet, fireplace crackle, champagne, juice for me. Resolutions whispered, more travels, deeper advocacy. Midnight kiss deepened, Avery monitor silent, our bodies rediscovering, her tongue tracing scars, my nails on back, climax crashing like waves. 2027 dawned with expansions. Riley's second novel, co-authored with me, weaving fiction from fact, lesbian cop's redemption arc. Avery crawled chaos, pulling cords, we baby-proofed, laughter amid tumbles. Community deepened, center fundraiser gala, us auctioning day with the Hales canes, bidding war, proceeds soaring. Crisis flickered April, department recall, old case reopening, Harlan's appeals dragging specters. Subpoena arrived, Riley's face ashen. Can't let it touch us, she vowed. We lawyered up, my platform preempting smears with transparency thread. Testimony relived traumas, but solidarity fortified, sister testifying character, Jack's rallying supporters. Verdict, appeals denied. Victory lap, beach bonfire, Avery toddling sands, toast to closures. Summer solstice, Avery's first birthday. Park party, smash cake messy, her face frosting smeared. Guests diverse, pride elders, expos turned friends. Speeches heartfelt, Riley's. 1 year of you, infinite of us. Cake fed, dances ensued. Me twirling Avery, Riley cutting in, family waltz under oaks. Intimacy reignited fully. Post-party, bath for 3, splashes, giggles, then bedtime tuck-in. Alone, candlelit, her oil massage turning erotic, fingers delving, my moans muffled in pillow. We experimented, mirrors reflecting ecstasy, her dominance playful, my submission's sweet surrender. Fall enrolled Avery in playgroup, her waves bye-bye wrenching. We volunteered tandem, me storytime, Riley's self-defense minis. Bonds formed, other queer parents, playdates potlucks. One eve, sharing wines. How do you know? Stories echoed ours, opposites igniting. Thanksgiving feast swelled, tables groaning turkey, tofurkey, kinships knit. Dad carved, jokes landing, Riley's hand under table, thumb circling, promise of later. Post-feast, couch collapse, her head in lap, Avery crashed nearby. Full, she sighed. Night's fullness, love-making marathon, positions revisited, laughter-laced, bonds unbreakable. Winter-wrapped gifts, Avery's words emerging. Mama, dual-directed, hearts melting. Holidays Hanukkah Christmas mash, lax by lights. New Year's Eve, sitter-saved club night, dance floor sweat, bodies grinding, home to tangle sheets till dawn. Spring 2028, Avery walked, stumbles to strides, our cheers chorus. Travels beckoned. Road trip California, Big Sur Cliffs dramatic. Car seats cooed, stops at diners, her hand on knee. Motel nights. Avery down, us devouring, quickies quiet, passions pent. Back, book tour duo, coasts connected, Avery with grandparents. Stages shared, stories synced. Fans cued, tales mirroring. You gave me courage. Impact rippled, letters of loves kindled. Summer heat, pool days, splashes, sunscreens. Intimacy poolside, stolen kisses, later lounge shays, her straddling, bikini tops tugged, sun-warmed skin sliding. Fall crisp preschool jitters, drop-off tears mine, not hers. Pick-up hugs healed. We hiked again, rattlesnake, Avery backpacked, summit cheers. Crisis minor, flu season fells us, quarantined cozied, soup simmered, movies marathons. Recovery, Park romps, her piggybacking Avery, me trailing laughs. By years close, dreams dreamed, sibling whispers, donor revisited. Ready? She asked, eyes sparkling. Always, I replied, kiss ceiling. Love's arc, from foe's fury to family's forge, every step sacred, every scar story. Avery's preschool phase ushered toddler tyranny, tantrums titanic, no, her favorite sonnet. Seattle's evergreens whispered patience as we navigated, Riley's calm a counter to my fray. Mornings manic, braids battled, lunches packed, drop-offs dashed. Pickup tails tumbled, finger paint smeared, friendships forged with Ellie's shares trucks. We'd debrief over coffee at home, her laughter lines crinkling. Mini you, she'd tease, dodging my swat. Work waves crested. My second book, Essays on Queer Motherhood, bestseller bound. Launches lively. Avery crashing podiums with crayons. Riley's series greenlit for TV. Adaptation buzz. Casting calls queer-coded. Agents swarmed. We balanced. Nannies aiding. Date night sacred. Italian in Belltown. Pasta twirled. Her foot hooking ankle under table. Signals sent. Intimacy thrived amid chaos. Stolen showers steamy, her soaping my back, hands wandering south, gasps echoing tiles. Evenings, Avery bedded, wine warmed. Couch to bedroom, her lifting me stairs, depositing on silk, devouring deliberate, tongue tracing thighs, my arches bowing. Spring 2028 bloomed sibling seeds. IVF cycle greenlit. Appointments anticipatory. Injections itched. Scans scrutinized. Riley's vigils vigilant. Her palm on belly, like talisman. Positive test. Whoops echoing halls. Brother or sister? We wondered. Avery patting baby in tummy. Curious. Summer swelled secrets. Bump budding. Swimsuits stretched. Family beach day at Golden Gardens. Kites soaring. Her rubbing lotion slow. Fingers lingering. Glowing, she murmured, kiss nipping lobe. Nights. Avery camped grandparents, us reclaiming house. Dinners decadent. Dances slow. Bed a battlefield of bliss. Her strap inventive. Thrusts time to moans. Fall foliage framed first kicks. Avery's dance party. Playdates doubled. Bellies bumping moms. Holidays harvest. Pumpkin carvings, her knife steady. Avery's gourd gummy. Thanksgiving thanks. To kinships knit, expansions embraced. Winter quickened. Second trimester vigor. Nesting anew. Crib twin installed. Closets cold. Avery's jealousy jabbed. Dull babies bossed. We readied with books, her big sis badge pinned. Christmas doubled. Twinsy gifts, her novel set under tree. New Year's nurse nausea, but resolve renewed. Team of 4. 2029 dawn deliveries. Avery's school play, mouse whiskers whisked, her hickory-dickory hamming. We cheered loudest. Post-show ice cream, her chocolate mustache mirrored. My podcast pivoted. Shadows generations, elder-young dialogues. Guests grand, trans grandmas, by dads. Wisdom woven. Crisis curled May. Work overload, Riley's pilot script deadline clashing shoots. Arguments ignited, snaps sharp. You're disappearing. Tears tracked, makeup mended, her apology in actions. Dinner delivered, massage melting. Partners first, vowed. Seal in sheets, forgiveness fucked fierce. Nails etching sorries. Summer solstice, baby shower sequel. Garden aglow, games goofy. Gifts gendered neutral. Blocks, books. Avery helped open, bossing bows. Toasts tender, sisters. From lone wolf to pack leader. Laughter lapped. Later, bath bubble trouble. Her washing Avery, me sudsing her. Ripples to romance. Towels dropped, steam rising. Third trimester tugged. Waddles wider, aches amplified. Riley's chivalry charmed. Doors held, feet fetched. Intimacy adapted. Side-lying spoons, her fingers magic, climaxes cascading calm. Labor lurked August. Pains prod, hospital haste. Contractions crashed. Riley's drive daring, hand-mine crushed. Delivery drama. Boy, August Riley hail cane, robust roars. Avery met brother wide-eyed, finger poke gentle. My baby, she declared, crown. Double duty dazed, feeds tandem, diapers doubled. Riley tag-teamed, her arms akimbo with babes. Sleep snatched, joy jagged, gurgles gurgling, eyes locking lineages. Fall fortified family, routines rigid, playgroups paired. August's colic crescendoed, rockings relentless, her lullabies looped. Avery's adjustment adroit, story time shared, her reading to him babble books. Holidays halved, Halloween hordes, pumpkins paired. Her costume cop crusader spoof, me activist armor, babes bundled. Thanksgiving thanks tripled, dad's delight dimpled cheeks. Winter warmed wonders. First smiles synced, roles reciprocal. Christmas chaos. Toys toppled, her assembling at dawn. New Year's nurse newborns, resolutions realistic, self-care sworn. 2029 closed chapters. My book tour babes behind. Virtual viable. Riley's show greenlit. Filming fall. Podcast peaked. Awards accrued. Peabody nod. Pride swelled. Spring 2030 sprouted strides. August crawled commando. Avery alphabet. Park picnics, her pushing swings tandem. Intimacy intermittent but intense. Rare naps napping, us nuzzling. Quick couplings quiet, passions potent. Summer splashed, pool parties, floats ferried. Her sunscreen strokes stroked fires. Locker room liaisons, post-swim showers slick. Fall enrolled August daycare. Tears trickled. Sibling synergy. Avery's lessons learned. Bossing benevolent. Crisis crested October. Riley's shoot snag. Location scout lost. Deadlines loomed. Snit snapped. Mediation mended. Her script shared. Feedback flowing. Premiere party preview. Clips captivating. Kisses congratulatory. By year's end, dreams deferred no more. Third, later. Love's ledger. Enmities eclipsed. Family flourishing. Every dawn a declaration. The twins' tandem toddlerhood turned our craftsmen into a carnival of chaos. Blocks blockading hallways. Sippy cups secreted in sock drawers. Seattle Symphony of Sirens and Starbucks queues became our backdrop. Avery's ABCs belted at bath time. August's babbles backing like bass. Riley thrived in the tumult, her director's eye-framing family frames. iPhone montages of milestones, set to indie folk. Our epic, she'd narrate, editing late, me curling beside with wine. Work World's World, my third book brewed, oral histories of queer icons, interviews immersive. Podcast persisted, now syndicating nationally, road trips to record, babes buckled, pit stops pureed. Riley's show premiered fall 2030, Blue Redemption, critics lauding authentic grit, her cameos cryptic. Red carpet remote, us in pajamas, popcorn popping, cheers champagne chased. Intimacy interludes intensified, school runs rushed, us stealing stalls, kisses quick, quarters for quickies, laughter lingering. Evenings engineered, sitter summoned, dinners decadent, sushi at Wajimaya, her chopsticks feeding, signals sultry. Home, heels hooked, hall to hearth, her against wall, skirt hiked, urgency unbridled. Spring 2031 sparked expansions. Center co-directorship offered Riley, her yesing advocacy arcs. I, adjunct university, lecturing on narrative justice, syllabi spiced with our saga. Family field trips. Woodland Park Zoo, giraffes gawked, her mimicking munch, Avery aping. Crisis coiled June, ex-colleague expose, dredging Harlan dirt, implicating Riley tangential. Media maelstrom. Statement scripted, her face on feeds furrowed. We weathered, pressers poised, podcast preempting poison. Clears came, catharsis in counsel, her confession still haunts. Healing hummed, hike to heal, snow-qualmy falls, mists masking tears, embraces earnest. Summer scorched, cabin getaway cascades, canoes cantered, campfires crackled. Kids KO'd calm, us kayaking kisses, paddle pauses, her hand hike shorts, ripples rippling release. Nights, tent tangled, sleeping bag shed, stars witnessing, her body bow, mind melody. Fall fortified futures. Avery kindergarten bound, uniform try-ons tearjerk. August echoes eager, her easing enrollments. Holidays haunted harvest. Back-to-school bashes, her baking cookies crooked. Winter wove wonders. First snowman sculpted, sleds swoosh discovery. Christmas classics, her elf airs absurd, gifts galore. New Year's nestled, kids crashed early, us countdown coupling, fireworks internal, bodies booming. 2031 Leaf Legacies, my book launches lively, babes backstage, her hyping halls. Riley Center Initiatives, Youth Academies Anti-Bias Boot Camps. Podcast Pulitzer Purse prestige poured. Spring sowed seeds, donor discussions, third child tabled then tipped. Cycle commenced, positives prayed. Positive pinged, girl. Jubilation jumped, party planned, genders guessed. Summer swelled swells, bump ballet, Avery's sissy songs. Beach bashes, her belly rubs ritual. Intimacy inventive, pregnancy pillows propped, her worship worshipful, oral odes, climaxes cresting careful. Fall framed firsts, Avery's school play pirate, plundering plaudits. August's art odd, finger paint frames. Halloween haunts, family Frankenstein, her bolts bolted on. Labor lurked November, pains premature, bedrest bid. Riley's rotations relentless, meals meal prepped, moods massaged. Clear came, relief reveled, roast romantic, candlelight, her fork feeding, foreplay forked. Winter wrapped waiting, holidays hushed, her carols crooned to belly. New Year's nurse nerves, resolutions resilient. 2032 Dawn Daughters, delivery dramatic, Isla Riley Hale Kane arriving alert, April shower singing. Avery's awe adoring, August's pats protective. Trio tumbled, Riley's arms atlas. Postpartum pulsed, feeds frenzied, sleep segmented. Her help heroic, diapers divvied, daddy duty dual. Intimacy idled, but I fucks electric, promises pending. Summer synced siblings, park parades, her pushing prams. Podcast paused parental, episodes evergreen. Fall fostered flows, Isla's coups captivating, Avery's story spun. School successes, report cards rapturous. Crisis crested Christmas, flu fells flock, fevers fought. Her nursing nights noble, soups soothing. Recovery rallied, tree trimmed hardy, toasts tardier. 2033 bloomed balances, nanny network netted, work whittled. My memoir sequel mused, her show season 2 scripted. Spring sparked sparks, intimacy ignition, naps nicked, nursery naps, her nuzzling neck nips nibbled, need navigated new mom slow. Summer splash siblings, pool parties, Isla's splashes shy. Her lifeguard lounging, lotions lascivious. Fall framed family, Isla's first step staggered, cheers chorused. Holidays heartfelt, her ham heroics. By close, circle complete. Enmity's echoes, love's loudest, life's ledger love-led. Isla's infancy infused our home with infinitesimal infinities, tiny toes tickling ribs, midnight muse melting resolve. Seattle's seasons cycled ceaseless, cherry petals to conifer cones, our craftsmen creaking under 4 footsteps frenzy. Riley orchestrated octaves, her playlists piping from high-chair high notes to bedtime ballads, her voice a vessel for villanelles of Twinkle, Twinkle. Work waltzed wiser, my essays evolved, anthologized arcs of alliance. Podcast plateaued powerhouse, spin-offs sprouting. Riley's center catalyzed change, reform ripples reaching D.C., her testimonies televised. Fame's footprint faded familiar, we fielded invites filtered, family first. Intimacy interwove intricately, stolen siestas, her slipping sheets, fingers familiar yet fresh, exploring expanses post-baby, breasts bared, her suckling soft, sighs silvering. Dates deliberate. Art walks alky, her arm anchored, gallery gazes grazing groins. Homeward, hunger heightened, kitchen counters claimed, her kneeling, knees kissing tile, my hands having hair, heaven hearkened. Spring 2033 seeded separations, Avery's elementary embark, backpack burdens brave. August's echoes eager, Isla's idols innocent. Drop-offs dappled dawns, her hugs hedging heart hurts. Summer summoned siblings, road trip Rockies, RVs rumbling, redwoods revered. Campsite confessions, her firelit face, kids kindled asleep, kisses kindling camp, blanket barriers breached, breaths bated, bodies bold under big sky. Fall fostered firsts. August's art awards, Isla's idioms love you mama. Halloween hoards heroic, her haunted house host, horrors hooted. Crisis curled November, Riley's recall, old op-ed opprobrium, online outrage orchestrated. Trolls targeted, threats threaded. We fortified, statement steadfast, support surged. Her hearing hashed history, vindication voiced, victory veiled relief. Winter warded woes, holidays healed, her hearth hero. Christmas carols, kids chorus chaotic. New Year's nestled, her nuzzles nipping New Year. 2034 Dawn Daughters domains, Isla's independence inching, Avery's activism awakening, school project on protests, her sourcing stories. We scaffold, Saturday's sourcing Seattle scars. Spring spurred spurts. August's athletics, soccer sprint saluted. My book birthed, births celebrated, bookstore bashes, babes browsing. Summer scorched successes. Riley's show Emmy eligible, events electric. Red carpet rare, us updo-ed, Isla and curls, flashes flattered. Intimacy ignited. Awards afterglow, hotel high-rises, her gown gowned off, glass-walled gasps, cityscape spectators to symphony. Fall-framed futures, Isla's preschool preview, anxieties assuaged. Holidays harvest home, her pies perfected. 2035 bloomed balances, podcast pivoted philanthropy, foundations funded. Riley's retirement ruminated, center crown seated, evolve. Crisis crested June. Health hiccup, my hormone havoc, hot flashes harried. Her herbs hunted, hugs healing. Doc's decree, perimenopause preview. Sexy seasons, she joked, just joining joints. Lubricants learned, positions playful, peaks preserved. Summer soothed, spa weekends, soaks steaming, her massages masterful. Kids camped cousins us couple coddled, vineyard visits, vintages vat, verandas vined, her vintage vibe, vines vining limbs. Fall fortified family, Avery's activism award, teen trailblazer. August's academics aced, Isla's imagination illumined. Holidays hummed harmony, her ham huzzahs, kinships knit. 2036 leafed legacies, my memoir magnum, milestones marked. Riley's retrospective, center gala, grants galore. Spring sparked sibling soars, August abroad exchange, anxieties aired. Avery's advocacy alliance, protests patrolled parental. Summer splash separations, empty nest echoes early, us unmoored momentarily. Travels tropical, Tahiti thatched, turquoise tempt, her tide pulled, togs tugged, tense torrid, waves washing wants washed waves. Fall framed fledglings, Isla's independence, ballet bows. Holidays heartfelt, her heirlooms handed. By 2040, brood branched, Avery college-bound Berkeley, activism ablaze. August artists atelier, Augusta's acclaim. Isla's ivy inclinations, inspirations ignited. We wandered worlds, Europe echoes, Eiffel embraces, her Eiffel Tower tease, towers toppled tenderly. Homecomings hallowed, graduations grand, her garlands garish. Intimacy immortal, anniversaries audacious, Aruba Aries, oral arias of affection. Crisis climaxed 2045, Riley's retirement real, badge buried. What now? Wistful. We wandered Washington wilds, wolves within woods, her wisdom whispered. Us. Always. Golden years gilded, grandkids germinated, granddaughters gurgly, her grandpa giggles gold. 2040's twilight's tender, my memoirs manifold, her histories housed. Podcast pantheon, preserved. Final fall, leaves like letters, Avery's wedding witnessed, her walking aisle, echoes emotional. Our octogenary odyssey, houseboat homage, rocking reflections. Her hand held, hazel to blue, from foes to forever. Epilogue etched, love's ledger, enmity's ember eternal, illuminating infinities. In her gaze, grace. In ours, gospel, redemption's radiant light.